I'm Jennifer, 62. 3 years have passed since that fateful dinner with my daughter-in-law, Ava. I still remember how she arrived at my house, all done, up makeup and 4 smiles, with my grandchildren Lily, 12, and Ethan, 9, trailing behind her. Grandma, Lily had cried, running to hug me. At 12, she was still full of affection. Ethan, on the other hand, hung back, eyeing me warily, no doubt influenced by the stories Ava had been telling him. Come in, I'd said warmly, ushering them inside. Dinner's almost ready. Ava looked around suspiciously, perhaps expecting to see the police or lawyers waiting to expose her. Instead, she found a carefully prepared meal and a grandmother eager to see her grandchildren. After the kids were settled in the living room watching a movie, the confrontation began. "I know everything, Ava," I said quietly, sliding a folder across the table. "The gambling, the loans from Victor Romano, and the lies you've spread about me." Her face paled instantly. "I don't know what she started, but I interrupted her. "Please don't insult my intelligence. My son, Ryan, documented it all before he died. I found his storage unit." For a moment, genuine fear flashed in her eyes. Then her expression hardened. "So what? It's your word against mine. Everyone already thinks you're losing your mind." I smiled then, a small, satisfied smile. "Not anymore. They don't. I have a neurological workup proving I'm completely sound. I have statements from your sister, Mia, confirming your history of manipulation. I have evidence that you owe $200,000 to a man connected to organized crime. And I have all of Ryan's documentation." Her hands trembled as she reached for her wine glass. "What do you want?" "A truce," I said simply. "I don't want to destroy you, Ava. I just want to be part of my grandchildren's lives. I want the rumors to stop. I want peace." She studied me, perhaps searching for weakness. "And if I refuse? Then I'll take everything I have to the police. The gambling might not be illegal, but the loans, the connection to Romano, those will interest them very much, especially given the timing of Ryan's death." Her voice rose in panic. "Are you accusing me of—" "I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm simply stating facts. Ryan confronted you about the gambling and loans 4 days before he died. He changed his will to protect the children's inheritance. And then he had a sudden cardiac event at 38. Ava collapsed back in her chair, her facade crumbling. "I didn't kill him," she whispered, tears streaking her makeup. "I swear I didn't. The stress, the fight we had, maybe that contributed, but I never wanted him dead. I loved him in my way." I looked into her eyes, searching for truth. To this day, I'm not sure if I believe her, but in that moment, I made a choice. A choice for peace, for my grandchildren, for my own future. I told her, "I'm going to pay off your debt to Romano, not for you, but to get that kind of criminal element away from my grandchildren. In exchange, you will give me regular, unhindered access to Lily and Ethan. You will stop spreading rumors about me, and you will seek treatment for your gambling addiction." She agreed immediately, relief flooding her face. I think she'd expected much worse. Let me rewind to the beginning. Ryan was my only son, a vibrant 38-year-old with a promising career in finance. He married Ava, a woman from a well-to-do family. Her parents were wealthy but indulgent, always encouraging her to use her beauty and charm to secure a comfortable life. At Ryan's funeral, the air was thick with the smell of lilies and grief. I stood beside his casket, my hand on the polished wood, struggling to comprehend how my strong, healthy son could be lying there so still. The doctor said it was a sudden cardiac arrest, but that explanation did little to fill the void in my heart. Ryan's attorney, Mr. Thompson, gently touched my elbow and said we needed to discuss some matters later. As I was about to follow him to a side room, I heard Ava whispering to Mia. "You know they're going to read the will tomorrow, right?" she said. "I just hope he didn't leave anything substantial to Jennifer. I'm his wife. Everything should come to me." I was shocked. I'd always tried to be a good mother-in-law. I'd watched Lily and Ethan when Ava wanted to go out, and I'd brought them meals when Ryan was working late. I thought we had a good relationship. Mia asked, "What if she expects to move in with you now?" Ava laughed, right there at the funeral. "I'd rather die. I'm the one who has to pick up the pieces, raise the kids alone. I'm sure as hell not going to care for that old woman." The next day, at the will reading, Mr. Thompson told me that about 3 weeks before his death, Ryan had transferred almost everything to me, not to Ava. He'd also set up trust funds for the children that would mature when they turned 25. I was stunned. Why would Ryan do this? Ava was furious. She claimed the will was illegal, that Ryan wasn't in his right mind. But Mr. Thompson assured her that Ryan was of sound mind and body when he made the changes. After the will reading, Ava stormed out, refusing to speak to me. 3 days later, she reluctantly gave me the key to Ryan's home office, saying she couldn't bear to sort through his things yet. As I was going through his desk, I noticed a drawer slightly ajar with a key still in the lock. Ryan was always very careful about security, so I knew something was up. When I opened the drawer, I found a thick manila folder labeled Financial Records. Inside were credit card statements, loan applications, and bank notices from the last 2 years. There was also a handwritten note from Ryan. "Mom, if you're reading this, I'm so sorry. I should have told you sooner." A small USB drive fell out as I sifted through the documents. I plugged it into Ryan's computer and found a video dated just 3 weeks ago, the same time he'd changed his will. In the video, Ryan looked tired but resolute. "Mom, if you're watching this, things have probably gotten worse with Ava, and you're finding out everything the hard way. I discovered her gambling problem about 6 months ago. At first, I thought we could work through it. I got her into therapy, set up separate accounts, but it's deeper than I initially realized. Last week, I found out she's been taking loans from some unsavory characters. I'm changing my will today, just in case. If something happens to me, you'll make sure the kids are protected." My world was turned upside down. I realized that Ava had been systematically draining their accounts for months, maybe years. 2 months after Ryan's funeral, my life had shrunk. Invitations to community events stopped coming. I overheard people whispering about how I'd taken everything from poor Ava after Ryan died. Even worse, Ava started keeping Lily and Ethan away from me. One day, I got a text from an unfamiliar number. It was Mia. She wanted to meet me at a cafe on the edge of town. At the cafe, Mia told me that this wasn't the first time Ava had done this. Before she met Ryan, she was engaged to a man named Todd. She nearly destroyed him financially before his parents intervened. Mia had been documenting Ava's lies, her manipulation of the children and the community. She also suspected that some of the people Ava borrowed from were connected to serious criminals. She gave me a burner phone and told me to document everything. "Ava is gaslighting you," she said. "She's trying to make you doubt your own sanity." That evening, I found a small key taped to the back of Ryan's desk drawer with a note saying, "Storage Unit Number 22, Elm Street, lock and key." The next day, I went to the storage unit. Inside, I found a timeline of Ava's activities over the last 3 years, along with a leather-bound journal. The last entry in the journal was dated 4 days before Ryan's death. Ryan had confronted Ava about what he'd found. She denied everything at first, then become hysterical, begging him not to tell anyone, especially me. He'd changed his will just in case. I spent hours in that storage unit, gathering evidence. I knew I had to fight back, not just for me, but for Lily and Ethan. I called Mia and told her what I'd found. I said I thought Ava might have had something to do with Ryan's death. Mia was shocked but agreed to help me. We went to see Dr. Harris, a respected neurologist in the next town. He confirmed that I had no signs of dementia or cognitive impairment. I also hired a private investigator, Jake, recommended by Mia. Slowly, I began to rebuild my life. I joined a new book club, volunteered at the local animal shelter. Jake uncovered more evidence about Ava's activities. He discovered that she owed a large sum of money to Victor Romano, a man with connections to organized crime. Finally, I invited Ava and the kids to dinner. That's where we had the confrontation I told you about earlier. Now, 3 years later, on this warm spring afternoon, I sit in my garden watching Lily and Ethan play. They spend weekends with me, and Ava has completed her treatment program. The rose bushes Ryan and I planted together are in full bloom, their fragrance filling the air. I've established trust funds for Lily and Ethan, just as Ryan wanted. I've renovated my home to include a pottery studio for Lily and a reading nook for Ethan. I've also set aside funds for Ava's ongoing treatment. Sometimes I wonder what Ryan would think of this arrangement. I like to believe he would understand. He was always practical and compassionate. He changed his will out of love to protect what mattered most. Last week, I fulfilled a promise I'd made to Ryan years ago. With Lily and Ethan beside me, I scattered a small portion of his ashes beneath an ancient oak tree. "Is Dad happy here, Grandma?" Ethan asked, his small hand gripping mine. "I think he is," I answered. "But he's happiest knowing we're together, that we're taking care of each other." Life after loss isn't about forgetting. It's about finding a way forward that honors what was lost while embracing what remains. The garden of my life was scorched and barren after Ryan's death, after Ava's betrayal. But slowly, season by season, it's growing again. Different than before, but no less beautiful. And I intend to cherish every moment of it.